Hello, everyone. I'm Edith Wolek, brand and design specialist. I'm here with Dr. Paul Jenkins, who is a speaker, writer, and trained psychologist. He has over 30 years of experience specializing in positivity to guide people through empowering and their relationship. Welcome to Mama Boss Financial Retreat, Dr. Paul.
Oh, thank you, Edith. I'm so glad to join you here today, and I'm excited about what you're doing to empower moms out there. You know what? I think the moms are the real heroes in our world, and I think anything we can do to support them is really important. So I'm honored to be here with you today.
Thank you very much. I feel privileged to hear that. I'm a mom of 3 children, 20, 16, and 8-year-old. And I started business recently. So I'm in the same kind of sector, trying to help other moms in the same the same spot as myself. So would you be kind to tell us about how to discover your own core values?
You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is the importance of I call it our emotional guidance system. And this emotional guidance system that we have, you know, I talk to so many people who think, oh, I'm too emotional. No, you're not. You're human and you've got feelings. And you're never wrong about how you feel. So I think that our feelings can sometimes give us an indicator that either we're on target or we're drifting off a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so in discovering our core values, as you labeled them, when we are doing things with our life, with our family that are consistent with our core values, we tend to feel peace and joy and happiness. If we get off track somehow in any of those areas, we're going to feel off. We're going to feel some anxieties, sometimes guilt or shame creeps in. We have to be careful with those because those can be misleading feelings as well. But our feelings will help to guide us to a lot of the answers that we're looking for.
That's good.
Now, feelings, if I were to expand on that just a little bit, I love my job because my job is to illuminate the obvious, which is kind of fun because I get paid to tell people things they already know.
Yeah.
But there are obvious things that are completely unnoticed. And a lot of the processes that drive our feelings are happening in our mind.
Yeah.
And we don't always see that it's happening. But there are 2 processes that are going on all the time that once we're aware of those processes, it helps to guide us, and our feelings can become that emotional guidance system that I was referring to. So those 2 processes are evaluation and creation. Mm-hmm. And we're constantly doing both. And as a mompreneur, that's actually a word now, by the way.
It is, yes.
As a mompreneur, you know that you've got this creative side. And you want to go out and create value for other people and build your business and be successful over there. Well, it starts over here on the other side with evaluation. And that means judgment. Okay? I want you to just notice that you're constantly judging.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
No one wants to be judged, but we all judge all the time, don't we?
Oh, yeah. We can't turn it off.
No.
And just notice this. Everybody who's listening, just notice that you are constantly judging yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's the worst.
Your kids,
yeah.
Your spouse, your business, the economy, the government, the pandemic. You're judging me. It's all right. I'm judging you right back. right? We can't turn it off. We're constantly judging.
Yeah.
And how we judge something determines our feelings.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you look at yourself and you say, oh, I'm not doing good enough. Okay, how does that feel?
Yeah, awful.
It feels terrible. Now, what's the truth? Are you doing good enough or not? Here's the thing. It is what it is. It could always be better, right?
Of course, yes.
No matter how well you're doing, it could always be better.
Always can be better, yes.
So notice that, but it could also always be worse, right?
Yeah.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
And so when we judge how we're doing, we're comparing it. Just notice this, okay? We're comparing it to something better or something worse in order to make that judgment. So if we don't feel good about where we are, maybe we need to stop for a minute and see how well we're already doing.
Got it.
That's it. That's so important.
Yeah.
We start beating ourselves up sometimes, and we don't need to. Look, if you're a mom, first of all, wow. Congratulations. Nice job. Way to go.
Yeah,
that is not an easy job. And you're also an entrepreneur and you're building a business. Wow.
I'm saying thank you from all the moms that are watching.
Just notice how awesome you're doing already. That is so cool. I had a client right here in my office not too long ago saying, oh, my business is struggling and it's hard. And I stopped her. I said, hold on. You have a business?
And great.
And she realized in that moment, oh yeah, huh? This is a really great problem to have. So pause long enough to notice how well you are already doing. Now, I know it could be better, but that's for the other side. See, when we're judging ourselves, I think it's important to realize how well we're doing. And the quickest way to get there is through gratitude. Focus on the rich, abundant, wonderful life that you already have right now without changing anything. And how does that feel?
That feels fantastic. Yeah.
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 And from there, from that energy, we can move forward and go upgrade the darn thing. Okay. Because it could always be better. We know that too. But that's a whole different process. When we create, remember I told you there's evaluation and there's creation.
Yeah.
And I have, if you guys want to go in depth on this, I have a whole web class for free that you can jump in to learn that model and what it means. And I'll be happy to share the link with you and stuff if you want to get into it.
Yeah.
But the short version is we're going to move from the judgment or evaluation into creation mode. And if you've already put yourself in a good place where you feel grateful and you've got that energy, then you're going to be in position to actually go do some things that are really productive, that can improve not only your business, but your life.
Yeah.
And that's called creation of what is to be. It doesn't exist yet because we haven't created it yet.
No, not yet. No.
Yeah.
As a designer, I can relate because I create all the time new things.
Right.
So yeah, it's very inspirational. Very.
And Edith, when you're designing something, you have to imagine it first.
Definitely, yes, all the time. Yeah.
It's the same with our life, with our business, with our family, our relationships. You have to imagine it.
Yeah.
And when you imagine, just connect with the feelings here for a minute, because remember, that's our guidance system. It'll tell us whether we're on course or not.
Yeah.
When you imagine your life getting worse than it already is, how do you feel?
No, really bad, depressed, and yeah, horrible.
But you don't even know what's coming.
No.
How you doing next week?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Strange. How strange.
You've got something to do with it, but you don't know. So all you can do is imagine.
Yeah.
So when we go to imagination mode, how do you feel when you imagine or expect or predict that what's coming is even better than what you've already got? How do you feel?
Empowered.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
That's your emotional guidance system at work. It'll tell you how to start imagining your future. We should not waste our creative energy on imagining all of the terrible things that could happen to us.
Oh, no.
I think I love the way Dan Zadra put this. Dan said, worry is the misuse of imagination.
Wow.
Don't you love that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to worry so much. No wonder you know, you don't get, creative, because you stop yourself from being creative by worrying. That's the perfect answer to fear. Yeah. Wow.
We have to be careful with that, because here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I said you can't stop judging?
Yeah, right.
You also can't stop creating.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And fear.
And you're not going to turn it off. You're going to steer it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we focus on everything that we're afraid of, that we're worried about, we're actually more likely to go bring that about.
Mm-hmm.
We're more likely to create it. What you think about comes about. What you focus on, you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want people to notice that they're doing it. Because if you notice that you're worrying about everything that could go wrong with your business or with your kids,
yeah,
you're putting yourself in an energy where you're more likely to go create that, because you have to imagine it before you can create it.
Yeah.
So instead, we steer it on purpose toward the upgrade. Let's use that creative energy of ours to imagine all the ways we could improve our relationships and our business.
Mm-hmm.
And then be careful, because you'll slide back into evaluation mode, and you'll see all these ways it can improve, and then you'll start judging yourself because you're not there yet. Let's not make that error.
No.
You're in an awesome place. You are rocking this. You're doing well. It could be better.
I think you have to imagine also going like 30 miles per hour. Don't speed to 100. Just, pace yourself and, drive your business and drive on ideas slowly, and maybe step by step, instead of going full speed ahead, because you might get a burnout or
miss the turn.
Or miss the turn. Yes, definitely. So we steered off the subject as well.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So there was the first question was about the core values, how to find them, but as there is no one to propose any core values like in a corporate business, how can we define them for our business? How can we define those values? Or should we just write on the values that we believe in and we set for our family, and use them as a momentum for our business as well?
Core values to me implies that these are not just for home or just for the business. It implies that these are things that are ultimately important to you.
Yeah.
And so, things like honesty, integrity, service, creating value, these things, I think, permeate every aspect of our life. So as you're asking, where do we find these? Look inside of yourself and see what's already important to you. If your business does not align with those core values that are important to you as a person and as a mom, then probably you need to adjust how you're approaching your business.
Yeah, that's true. Perfect answer. So here's the next one. What would you advise moms in business on tackling anxiety and dealing with overwhelm? Sometimes we get, I don't know, too many tasks going on. How can we address anxiety?
Anxiety has to do with the second of those two processes. Okay. Do you remember evaluation and creation?
Yeah.
In creation mode, we don't know what's coming.
No.
We don't know. We have something to do with it because we're creating it.
That's true. Yeah.
But when we imagine that what's coming is worse than what we've already got, we feel anxiety. That's where anxiety comes from. It's imagining that worse things are going to happen.
Okay.
So notice, first of all, that you don't know for sure what's coming.
No.
And then notice that you are taking a position about that. And if your position doesn't serve you well, could you choose a different position? This is called metacognition. And this gets back into that. I told you the model. I teach a model that summarizes these two processes that are going on. And when you asked about anxiety, it's in the creation mode that we feel anxiety because we're anticipating or expecting bad things to come. That makes sense? Yes,
it definitely does. I'm going to join the webinar for sure. I need
it. And it's really easy to remember. The URL is positivitywebclass.com. It's a free seminar or webinar that I put on to help people understand how to operate the equipment of their own mind. Yes. And it's so empowering, Edith. It's when we know how to steer it, it puts us back into choice. And you mentioned feeling overwhelmed, for example. I've often wondered, what would it feel like to be perfectly whelmed? Nobody ever talks like that.
No.
Right?
No.
But our thinking is what has us feeling overwhelmed. It's not our circumstances. It's not everything on our plate. It's our thinking that has us feeling overwhelmed. Until you understand how that thinking works, you don't have any choice or control over it, and it doesn't even feel like a choice. So we fall victim sometimes to the very brain that we could get working for us instead of against us. I'm trying to think through whether I actually answered your question there.
Yes, you did. And, if people are looking for more answers, they're going to come to your webinar. So that's perfectly fine. And what is the definition of empowerment, and how can we empower each other, as moms in business, or even other people? We all empowering each other. It doesn't have to be mom to mom.
Right.
But how can you define empowerment?
That is a really fascinating question, because I believe that we already have the power.
Mm-hmm.
We already have it. Nobody has to give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think by empowering people, what we really do is we help them get out of their own way and use the power that they already have. You've got the power. You've got everything that it takes.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And it's not that I can give it to you. You've already got it.
No. Yes.
So we help each other by illuminating the principles that are already in play, right? And so that we can get out of our own way. You probably know this from folks you've worked with, Edith, that they don't see or connect to how powerful they already are. They've got what it takes. We just simply help them get out of their own way, and then brilliant, beautiful things happen.
Yeah. And we have to take the controls and, drive forward.
Yeah.
I'm still going back to the driving mode, but yes.
Yeah.
I tend to steer a lot in the family as mom. So I have to organize everyone, and I have to, organize events, birthdays, and, remember, Christmas presents, who to buy what. And so I think as moms, we tend to take the driver's seat. And
yes.
So the same thing, like you said, we have to be in control of our own minds, and we tend to get lost in that. And judge ourselves.
Right.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we've got time for one more question.
Okay.
How can we contribute time and energy to both family and business without a burnout? Is there any kind of plan that we can follow?
Edith, we have a limited amount of time and energy. And sometimes we find ourselves feeling burned out. Usually that's because we're sacrificing things of greater value. So going back to your very first question, about those core values and getting clear about what those are. Your business is here to support your family, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, when the family is good, you're in a position where your business can succeed and prosper as well. And they can work together to be a beautiful, balanced part of your life. So going back to the core values, make sure that you've structured your day and your time to acknowledge and honor your core values. And that way you can avoid the burnout, because it's hard to build a business. It is. There's a lot of hard things about it, and we don't want that to consume you to the point where you're sacrificing things of greater value.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of one of my coaches, Amy Walker, is a brilliant sales coach, and I've done many of her trainings. And I remember her sharing once when someone called her, a business associate, and said, "Hey, Amy, can we go to lunch? I would love to pick your brain about a few things." And she said, "No, my time from 12 to 2 every day is reserved exclusively for my boys at home. And I choose not to go to lunch with business associates or friends because I've committed that time to my family. Let's find another time to meet." I thought that was beautiful.
Very good. Yeah.
And she has a very successful business, partially because she makes sure that she puts first things first.
Yeah.
And you can do that without sacrificing either, as long as you keep them in order.
Great, great tips and advice, and your wisdom just, it's going to help so many women and moms. And you did mention your webinar, so we will add the link to the email going out to all those who sign up. Thank you so much for everything and for your time. Pleasure.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to spend this time with you.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.